And we are back in the building, back with some more boxing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and all that good stuff. Now, guys, I want to talk a little bit about this Jaron Ennis, Tim Tszyu debate going on with the boxing fans. Now, recently, Bernie the Boxer came out on his YouTube channel and pretty much implied that Terence Crawford was looking at fighting Tim Tszyu possibly next. That is their next target. Tim Tszyu, the 154-pound WBO champion. So that means he would move from 147 to 154 to make that fight happen. Now, of course, there are a lot of, I would say, Errol Spence Jr. fans turned Jaron Ennis fans crying foul. They think he should face Jaron Ennis next. A lot of them think that Terence Crawford is afraid of Jaron Ennis. They think Jaron Ennis is that guy to beat Terence Crawford. I disagree. I'm on record saying that I disagree. I don't think this fight does nothing for Crawford. And I think that Jaron Ennis isn't ready yet. I don't dislike Jaron Ennis. I actually like the guy. I just don't think that he's ready for that. And I don't want to see his career get derailed when it's barely started. I talked about this in the last video. Boxing fans are fickle. When you lose a fight, they're looking elsewhere. They're looking to put, another guy up there. Look at Errol Spence Jr. He lost his first fight, and now everybody's moved on to Jaron Ennis. That's just the way it goes in boxing. That's why a lot of times you'll find these fighters not wanting to take risks, not willing to lose their O. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, as far as Crawford being afraid of Jaron, I beg to differ. He offered Jaron that fight back when the negotiations between him and Errol Spence Jr. were breaking down, and he was going to fight on BOK Prime. And Jaron was offered that fight, and he didn't take it. Of course, he wound up facing David Abanesian, and then, him and Errol Spence Jr. went back into negotiations, and of course the fight was made. So as far as Crawford being afraid, he was looking at Jaron as a tune-up fight for the Errol Spence Jr. fight. So just kind of let that sink in. Now, I still think the Tim Tszyu fight is the bigger fight. Now, I will admit that Jaron, skill set wise, I think he has a better skill set than Tim Tszyu. I think he has the better footwork. I think he has, the speed. I think he has I wouldn't say boxing IQ, but I know he switches from righty to lefty. And he's just, he's an athletic guy. He's more of an athletic guy, I'll say that. Tim Tszyu, more methodical, kind of a flat-footed fighter. He's very patient. He's very strong, but he has been adding new wrinkles to the game. If you look at his fights, he's extremely active. And I say that when you're active as a fighter, you're just going to get sharper. And we've seen Tim Tszyu get better and better in every fight. Now, as far as resumes goes, I think that makes a difference. Jaron Ennis, let's look at Jaron Ennis' resume. Jaron Ennis' last 3 fights, he fought Roman Villa, Karen Chukazan, and Custio Clayton. A lot of those names, a lot of people don't know who those guys are. I do because I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I think the toughest opponent out of those 3 was probably Karen Chukazan because he was a mover. He didn't stand there and let Boots, wail on him. Now, Roman Villa, he was tailor-made for a fighter like Jaron Ennis. I think the biggest name on his resume is Sergey Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets, who moved back down to 140. Sergey Lipinets, who doesn't really have great footwork. That's the biggest name on Jaron's resume. Now, imagine him going into a fight with Terence Crawford, who's done it all, seen it all. The biggest, I would say, the pound for pound king, the best fighter on the planet, guys. Think about that. And the biggest name on Jaron Ennis' resume is Sergey Lipinets. Do you really think he's beating Terence Crawford? I don't. I just don't think the guy's ready yet. And I said it before. He should be fighting guys like Ugas. He should be fighting guys like Stanionis, maybe even Keith Thurman. Those are the type of fights he needs under his belt before jumping into the ring with Terence Crawford. Now let's look at Tim Tszyu's resume. Tim Tszyu's got a pretty solid resume, guys. His last fight was with Brian Mendoza, who you guys know defeated the towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, knocked him out. You guys remember that. Some of you guys might remember that. Carlos Ocampo, who was stopped by Errol Spence Jr. I think it was the first round. I think that was the first Errol Spence Jr. fight I actually went to. And after that fight, he left 147, went up to 154, and was on a huge winning streak. So yeah, he's a bigger name than anybody, I would say, outside of Sergey Lipinets on Jaron Ennis' resume. Tony Harrison, the former 154-pound WBC champion who defeated Jermell Charlo, who was undisputed at 154. That's a huge name. TKO win in that fight. He fought Terrell Goucher. He also fought Jeff Horn. So he has a solid resume, guys. Dennis Hogan. Names that a lot of you guys know who these guys are. So I think that makes him the better fighter because he has more experience. Even though he doesn't have, I think he's lacking in, I wouldn't say lacking, but I think, he's not the more athletic fighter than a fighter like Jaron. He has more experience fighting, big names. Guys with a skill set. And he's won these fights. He's undefeated. He's 24-0? 24-0. So yeah, he has the better resume. So I think that is the tougher fight for Terence Crawford. He's a tougher opponent in my opinion. And I think it's the bigger fight. I know some people are going to say, well, he's from Australia. But he has a whole country behind him. Whereas Jaron Ennis, a lot of people don't know who he is. So I think it's the bigger fight. Terence Crawford said it himself. He's looking at nothing but big fights. And I think that fight with Tim Tszyu delivers. He's a dangerous opponent. He has a solid resume, and he has a whole country behind him. And Terence Crawford has the chance to become a 4-division champion, maybe leading into a fight with Jermell Charlo for undisputed. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't have anything against Jaron. I just think Jaron isn't ready yet. But anyway, that's my take on it. Maybe you think differently. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.